I don't know what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do that. I don't know. Here we go. Here we go. Say hi, Neil.
Hi, Neil.
Okay, so I just pulled this off. This is the harness from the battery. And this I'm going to have to lengthen pretty obviously. This is going to alternator, and this is the ground on the block. Oh, no, this is starter. That's ground on the block. Yeah. Ground on the block, and then this goes to starter. And so you can just see that there's not going to be, where I put that battery, there's not going to be enough wire to get me back to those items. So I'm going to get all this off of here, the loom and stuff off of here, and then see what's going to be the best way for me to extend that. This shouldn't be too bad to, extend. I just have to get, more line, the size of the line that it is. So anyway, I'm going to get a knife and cut this free, get this all where I can look it over. And then underneath the table has the fuse box. This right here goes to the positive side of the fuse box. So that's really why I'm trying to keep the fuse box close to the batteries, because obviously the battery's feeding the power to the fuse box. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of loom and electrical tape on that other one, and I need to get this figured out, get this all stripped down. It's I've been putting it off, and I'm at the point where I need to get it done. So you can see that this is the harness that goes from like the firewall back through the car, and went back to the fuel tank. So I've stripped that down. I've got a lot of the wires out of that for lights and power seats and power door locks and all that stuff has been trimmed off of that one. I have another harness over here that goes to the motor. There's just the harness that come out of that car is huge. I mean, if there's any part of the project that is overwhelming, this to me is it. But it's not anything more than just, it's a lot of work. So anyway, I'm gonna get after this. So something that I want to note, as I'm going through this, this wire goes to the, I put down, it's 2 of 2 goes behind the fuse box. Anyway, it's going to the starter. So as I'm taking this apart, I want to make sure that I don't misplace those wires. Like if there's a wire next to this wire, obviously that goes to the fuse box, or that goes to the starter, I want to make sure that I don't get those mixed up so they're still together as I'm taking all this off, if that makes sense, so that I don't get to a point where I'm like, oh, what's going on? I don't even know where this wire goes or whatever. So be careful if you're doing this. Just make sure you take time and label everything, and then if the wires go together and you're pulling loom off, you know, zip tie them in a couple places so that you're not misplacing it or not losing track of where it goes. This right here is a bit of a mystery to me. I don't understand that. That's going to the alternator, and see what they did? It goes to 2 wires, and then it goes to back to the big. And I'm wondering if that's like a fusible link maybe, so if it gets too much draw it melts those. I don't know what that's about. If anybody that's watching these knows what that's about, let me know in the comments, because I gotta make this wire longer, obviously, to get from the battery and the bed back up to the alternator. And so I guess my question now would be, do I need to leave this, or do I just get this gauge power wire and run? Anyway, if you have the answer to that, let me know, because that's interesting to me. Okay, I know that one, and I know that this one's got to get longer. Ground, this one's ground. This one goes to the head, so I'll get that one longer too. So it looks like I'm gonna have to, all 3 of these or 4 of these are gonna have to get longer. I just have to get them in there and get figured out where I'm gonna run them, and then string them out, and then find out just how much longer I gotta have. So that's as far down stripped as I want to get it for right now, this one. So I'm going to grab the one with the fuse, and I'm going to get started stripping that down. I'll probably take this out to the truck. I just flopped that thing up there, and the other end of it hit the camera, so I moved things around so I don't know what my view is now, but there's still a pot load on the floor. See all this mess? Oh man. So here's my fuse box. And I gotta just start trimming this down. I've got to find out, how much of this I'm keeping, how much of it I'm getting rid of. Heater AC, obviously that's gonna stay, and that's probably, I don't know, that looks like that's gonna have to get longer too. Yep. This bit right here is the driver's side of the car where it goes into the firewall, and this right here is where it crosses at the bumper of the car. So basically the way this is set up right now is this would be the driver's side going over the fender, down on the bumper, coming back, passenger fender. So I think a lot of this right here is going to go to the motor, or some of it's going to go to the motor. Heater and AC, well that goes through the car. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Ground. That's turn signal, so that's going to go away. So there's a lot of things that are going to go away. But I know there's so headlights, that's gonna go away. Horn, I'm probably gonna keep the horn. Yeah, I don't know how much of this I need to record. Just trying to figure this out. I don't know. Jeez. So, I guess the question that I am dealing with right now is, do I just continue to take the looms out and try to get more of the wires cut so I narrow it down a little bit more, or get it to the truck and do it out there so that I know how far I gotta go. This is just a big mess. It's just a big rat's nest. Oh, some days I look at this wiring and I think to myself, man, what did I do this for? But I know this is doable, and so at this point I think that in the future I would probably try to budget for a new wiring harness and maybe like a standalone like ECU, but I know those things are, that type of thing is extremely expensive, and so it's not gonna happen. I'll get it. So anyway, I'll bring you back when I decide, see what I get decided here, how I'm gonna tackle this. It's the next day. I sat here and looked at this long enough yesterday that it was just like, I have to walk away. But I've come up with an idea. I think I'm gonna strip this down. I'm sitting right here. This bit of wires right here needs to be, or was, at the driver fender, and this plugs into the computer. So I'm going to try to get this so that it's inside the firewall under the dash. There's two other plugs that hook up to that little computer, and those two go to the wiring harness for the motor, and it looks like there's enough wire on that I can get that section of that harness under the dash. So my hope is that I can get this under the dash, and then I have enough wire here to get me back to the battery. And then there's just a couple of things that I'll have to rewire, like this is the heater. So there's some other stuff right here that I'll have to try to pull and get back to the firewall. So that's my plan. And then these are like crash sensor deals and lights, things like that I'm getting rid of. Anti-lock brakes, I'm not using that. The fan I will have to try to lengthen and try to get engine fan. So this goes to the air cleaner, so I'll have to get that extended out. So anyway, but that's where I'm at with it. I think that I can get it. I'm just gonna strip down the looms sitting right here. For the most part, I'm gonna keep some of it, like maybe start here and get that stripped all the way back to here. And that's my plan. So I'm gonna get started doing that. I'm just gonna start cutting things and getting the looms off so that it's flexible and whatnot. I don't know how I'll fish it through whatever hole. This thing, you know, you'd have to have a hole that big. I don't know what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna do that. I don't know. Alright, so you can see I got a bunch of the limbs stripped off, some of the tape. I still need to get some of this tape off. And I'm deciding that I'm probably going to take a little bit more time and try to delete the wires that I know I'm not going to need while it's sitting here. These two, it's not very much really for this, and that's what I'd already got started taking wires out. So I know that there's a lot of these wires that are coming through this plug and into this harness that are going to the fuse box that I'm not going to use. And rather than trying to sort through that out there in the truck, I feel like I should do it here. And the only problem with that is, man, it's going to be a lot of doing. I'm going to have to get back into this one, and this is all stuff that I deleted that I need to take back through and get it completely gone. So, anyway, I'm going to get going on cutting some more of this stuff here, and I need to go back through that other harness and try to, you know, refamiliarize myself, refresh myself on what I got going there, because all that I'm deleting's got to be traced back through this plug and then out of this plug. Colors, you know. So what I really need to do is I really need to get the rest of this tape off and just really try to get rid of the wires that I'm not using, because I know that the wires that go to the seat, power door locks, all that jazz comes through the fuse box. It's gonna make it to the fuse box, so they're all here somewhere. So I really could dwindle this down. I really can't. I don't think I can do much about the plug. You know, the plug size is what it is. I'm just gonna have to deal with that, I think. But I can definitely get wires trimmed down and get these so this isn't quite so bulky. And so I think that's where I'm at, is just trying to get down to what I know that I need and get rid of. And it's just like going for it, you know, it's like just, and I think that's where I'm at, is I was just going to go for it, just going to start deleting and getting rid of stuff, and hope it'll start when I try to start it. It will. It will. God's got promises for me, you know what I'm saying? He's got some promises for me. So anyway, I'm going to get after this, get more of this tore out. I do realize this video this week is going to be pretty boring. Just basically this is it. However, I got to remind myself that I didn't start doing this YouTube channel and this video to try to make some entertainment. More than anything, it was just to try to document what I did, so that hopefully it helps somebody else to have something to look at that So anyway, that's what it's about. So here we go. Here we go. So I thought I'd bring you into this a little bit. Some of this is pretty hard to do, you know, when you slice this and then trying to get it open, trying to get your fingernails in there, get it open. Like for example right here, if I cut that, then it's hard to get. So I just got one of these little pick jobs. Works pretty good to just kind of get in there and try to open that up. Just thought I'd show you that. That's very helpful. Trying to get all this off is just a real job. So something else that I was doing before on that other harness is when I had wires that I knew I had to keep, I was taking this red electrical tape and wrapping it with red electrical tape just to indicate to me that I gotta keep this. This is going to air cleaner. And then this one here is engine fan. So I want to make sure that the things that I know for a fact I wrap them with red electrical tape. So that as I go through this, when I see red electrical tape, I know that, you know, don't lose it, don't cut it, don't whatever. So, just the little things that I'm just thinking about that I thought, well, and then at a certain point, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hang that so that that fuse box, I'm just going to stick kind of up on the loft there and the ladder, and then let the rest of it hang down so that I can work from this plug. So I can work the stuff back to that other side of that plug, and then I can come out this other side and start getting rid of. Okay, I have this at a point now where I think I'm good to start sifting through these. This one right here, I have it marked as front lights, driver's side, before the firewall, front lights, what I got marked. So, we'll see about that, but if that's the case, then probably this whole bulk of wires right here is going to go away. That's running through here. But I don't want to just deal with that. I want to go from the actual plug, like this one right here says passenger headlights. So I want to take from there and run it and delete it. You know, it's like one plug at a time, and not cut this whole thing and then be like, oh no, there was wires in there that I needed. Anyway, so I'm gonna put the fuse box up on top of the ladder and basically just get this harness hanging there. And I'll take this other harness, which is the one going from like the firewall into the car that I've already started stripping, and I'm going to work that back to these plugs, and then I can virtually, like right here, just plug these in, and then, you know, take the collar out that I need and work it back to the fuse box. progress. Well, I'm hanging this up, and I got to thinking there's a couple here that I don't want to lose track of, but I know that I'm going to get rid of. So I've got green electrical tape, and so I'm going to put green electrical tape, just electrical tape these two together, knowing that these I'm going to definitely get rid of. That one I got to get some red on, because that's the horn. I already don't know where the other one went. There it is. Okay, that will just kind of give me an idea that, okay, when I get through here, I know that these, I don't have to guess what that, what that is. I see green, I know that I've already decided that that's going to be going away. So I just thought I'd show you that. It's worth having, some different color electrical tape. I have blue, yellow, white, so I have those colors. You can see red I've used the most. And if you color coordinate stuff like I'm doing, it's probably worth, I haven't done this yet, but I'm thinking to myself, probably worth writing down on a piece of paper what your meaning is for what color you're using. This seems like a good idea. Alright. So I think I'm going to wrap this video up. I have this back on the table. This is a bunch of wires that I gotta run back and get rid of them, delete them. This all goes back to, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. That was all going back to fuel tank, and so that's all the wires that from the harness that went back that way that I've kept. And so basically I've got myself to this point where I'm familiar with what I was doing here. So, and now I've got it to this point where I can make this connection. I don't know if I'm videotaping this and that screen just went black, so it doesn't tell me. Yeah. So I made this connection so I can bring those wires back that I've clipped. You can see I've already some that are already clipped off. I'll bring all that here, and then I'll trace them over to here, get rid of all the wires that I've gotten rid of the back of that harness. Then I can start getting rid of up through this harness, along with getting rid of these. And then what you don't see right here is on the other side of the table, there's just another big cluster of wires, and that's where this plug plugs in, and so there's just a bunch more on that side. So there's a lot that there's this set too that I'm getting rid of. Anyway, so I think I'm just gonna wrap up the video. I think I got enough footage on this wiring to make a proper boring video, which is, I'm sure, what this is gonna be. Although I really think it'd be nice to have some, a video like this that a guy could watch and be like, okay, Yeah, that's a good idea or whatever. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you'd be watching this and thinking, why'd you do it like that? And if you do, if there's a better way to do this, leave a comment and let me know, because I would certainly share it in another video just to be like, hey, this guy had a better idea. Because I'm all about, what's a better way to do it. Alright, so that's going to wrap this one up. I appreciate you watching the video, and I appreciate you watching the other videos. Those of you who have subscribed, I thank you for subscribing. And those of you who haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. That helps me out quite a bit, helps my channel. If you like this video or you like the content that I'm putting out, give me a thumbs up. And thank you for watching. Very much appreciate it. Have a blessed week.